So with this, we're just, with this recording, so we know today is 10:04 on May 6th. We'll call the meeting to order since we don't have a chair yet. And then for a roll call to verify quorum, just for the recording, will you just say your name?
Megan Adams.
Sean Owens.
Perfect. So we have quorum. The meeting was noticed. I don't, there's any homeowner comments. And we get a motion to adopt the agenda?
I do this.
So free, just say, you can say. Motion to adopt the
Motion to adopt the agenda.
And then say second.
Second.
There we go.
Perfect. Sorry, it's been a while since SGA.
No, that's fair. So first orders of business would be to appoint a chair and a vice chair.
Well, with all your experience, I would say you need to be chair.
I appreciate that and I'm humbled by that. If Tim has any objection when he attends the next meeting or has any thoughts, I'm open to changing too, so.
And if you want to today, just appoint a chair, that's really what is needed
Okay.
to operate. We can do that, and we can, if you want, we can pause on a vice chair for
Would that
the
be
next
fair?
meeting.
I'm fine with it. That way we can get Tim involved, but
Yeah.
based on your resume you just gave me, that's how you as chair, so.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So just for clean documents, can we have a motion to table action item B?
Motion to table action item B.
And it's-
Seconded.
So this one, we'll just, like I said, there's just a couple housekeeping items with every start of a committee and a advisory group, that especially this year, we're just going through some of the review of the charter, the code of conduct, and the resolution, and then letting standard, how we're doing minutes and the meeting schedule. And then after that, the meeting is what you think it's going to be, and your next ones will be whatever the agenda you guys think it's going to be, will be. That's right, get into the real business. So for your discussion item, one, the review of the Universal Charter. There's just some things that we're just reading out in all of the committee meetings, so I'm going to just read it so that we hear it, and then hopefully Tim just watches the recording.
So
in alignment. So like I said, welcome. This is you're getting your deep dive
Yes.
into a homeowners association. And so we're starting hot and heavy here. So on a high level, what this Universal Charter, this document here is for the task force committees and advisory groups. So when this is what the board bases off of whenever they ask for additional groups. This is kind of the document that allows that and some of the authorities behind it. So the authority of the consulting body, a consulting body operates only to recommend or advise and shall work collaboratively with management to achieve specific objectives. The committee/task force shall not be involved in routine management and operation of the association. Consulting body members shall refrain from conducting their own inspections, taking pictures of resident homes with their own personal devices. A consulting body has no authority to act on behalf of the boards unless expressly granted in the relevant governing documents or given by the board in writing in advance. A consulting body has no authority to incur expenditures on behalf of the boards unless given in advance. A committee may recommend the appointment of subcommittees to complete specific projects, tasks as needed, subject to board approval. Skipping to a couple items in the composition is each term. The term of each member shall expire annually at the end of April. Members may not serve more than 2 consulting bodies at a time. Members may not serve a committee if there is the existence or perception of a conflict of interest related to the decisions facing the committee. And then on appointments and removal of committee members, the consulting bodies shall consist of 3 and no more than 7, and a majority must be present to conduct a meeting. Consulting body members must apply every year. A consulting body member may be removed by the board with or without cause upon 30 days written notice. And cause may include but not be limited to violation of standards of conduct, which is Exhibit A, which we'll review next. failure to attend meetings regularly, no longer being in good standing with the association. And then the last bit is the meetings shall be noticed, and the consulting bodies shall meet a minimum of 4 times per year or as needed. The chair or if the chair is absent, the vice chair should work collaboratively with the management to establish the agendas and determine any required action items between meetings. In the absence of both the chair and vice chair, a member present shall be appointed to oversight the meeting. You don't have to worry about that because without 2 of you, we wouldn't be having a meeting. Members should strive to conduct business in an orderly and sufficient manner, striving to keep discussion on the items or to the agenda, and meetings should be limited to no more than 2 hours. A quorum of voting must be present. This can be in person or virtual for any items voted upon. Members shall disclose any potential conflict of interest, real or perceived, to the consulting body and the board prior to taking action. Members of the task force shall be open to residents of the meetings shall be open to residents. Resident attendants may be invited to speak at their discretion of the chair with defined time limits, usually set to 3 minutes. Members and those in attendance shall conduct themselves in a professional manner, and the management liaison shall prepare minutes for each meeting to prompt, and the minutes will be approved and published on the website. And then the last section we're going to do is the role of management and the board liaison. So you have your board liaison, Bill Long. Your management liaison is Lauren, and then I'm assisting. Management will provide a liaison for the consulting bodies. The liaison will be determined by the executive director. The management liaison is responsible for preparing the agenda and preparation for the meetings, coordinating any visitors, providing information and supporting documents as needed, and initial action as needed from the meeting, including following up with any volunteers. The board shall have a liaison, and the liaison of the board is responsible for communicating guidance or requests from the board to the consulting body, providing regular meeting updates to the board of actions and deliberations of the consulting body, working primarily with management and the chair to help make the meetings productive, respectful, and engaging, help guide the consulting body with its specific roles, and attend the meeting as needed and appropriate. Thank you for listening. I hope that kind of helps understand the
Yes.
structure.
Yes.
That's
You
the
sent that
main,
via email.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the main reason there. And have you read through the code of conduct?
That you put, yeah.
Okay, well then we'll just skip that since you read it, and we'll just have, if you don't mind, to sign those today. And
So,
go
Jacob,
ahead, Bill.
Tim may be joining in a moment.
Okay, that'd be great. That's wonderful. Review of the.
I said may.
That's supposed to say your committee resolution. So on your committee resolution, the main things that we wanted to probably bring up were the goals and objectives in review on this, which is going to be in your scope of work. Here, I can actually copy.
Oh, thank you.
So the scope of work would be to deliver a comprehensive security camera deployment strategy based on research undertaken by the advisory group and based on the board's directive of the security cameras for passive asset protection, engage with relevant existing committees being the tech committee, finance committee, master plan advisory committee to ensure the comprehensiveness and needs requirements for the proposed plan. The plan engage with management to ensure the efficiency and effectiveness of the plan, consult with external experts if needed. Timeline for the scope of work includes the following to be modified by the group or board of directors by request. Would be to workshop the development strategy outline. This was assigned roughly be 1 week. Meet with committees as required, 4 weeks, gather data and write a plan, 2 weeks, present report to the board, 1 week, guiding principles for decision-making, transparency of all documents, finding rationales, and discretion of opinions, objectively based recommendations on data, not just preference or sunk costs. Long-term perspective, consider not only immediate needs, but also future scalable integration and support. And then deliverables are to include comprehensive report with narrative and graphics as needed, detailing the process, outlining data gathering methods, data schedule and reports as needed, findings and outcomes, and phasing as needed. Recommendations and challenges and implementation strategy provide a roadmap for the implementation, including phased replacement. That we have. Hey there, Tim. All right, just getting set up. If you can hear us,
All right,
what
Mike's
we'll do. Hi, we hear you.
Yep, Mike's on it.
So what we're doing right now is we're just reading through the resolution. We're kind of on the deliverables of that right now. I can actually, since you're online, I can share that document. Let's see here. Okay. So where we were, it's just the deliverables within the scope of work. Is to provide a comprehensive report with narrative and graphics as needed, detailing the process, outlining data gathering methods, data schedule and reports as needed, findings and outcomes, phasing as needed, and recommendations on challenges and the implementation strategy. B is to provide a roadmap for the implementation, including any phase replacements, centralization of servers, and compliance upgrades. C, broad budgetary overview of proposed elements. And D, an executive summary of comprehensive reports. And then lastly is the goals and objectives. The objective is this advisory group shall establish clear objectives that reflect the organization's needs, constraints, long-term vision. And these objectives should include ensuring that security and compliance address the needs to replace non-NDAA compliant cameras and outdated hardware. This should balance the costs and values, weighing upfront and ongoing costs against systems, capabilities, durabilities, and future scalability. Supporting usability and operations, considering the ease of use for staff and the operational impact of each system. Future-proofing and integration, evaluate how each solution aligns with the potential future projects integration, i.e. the existing Gallagher system, and involving security needs. Stakeholder alignment, incorporating input from technical experts, end users, and management to ensure that the chosen solutions meet broad organizational requirements. Comprehensive need assessment. Review the current and future security requirements, including comprehensive analytics, integration with other systems and physical environmental needs. Assess the actual usage of advanced features in the current access milestone system to determine if simpler systems would be sufficient. Technical and financial analysis. Compare the total cost of the ownership for both Access Milestone and Unify solutions, including hardware, software, licensing, support, and installation. And lastly, evaluate the technical capabilities of each system, the analytics, integration, scalability, durability against the organization needs. All right. Thank you for letting me go through all of that. I think the last item, one of the last two will be much quicker. So the standardization of the minutes. What this is, since you aren't a pre-existing, there's nothing that you're going to compare your minutes to, but this is going on all of the committee agendas, basically to let them know that we're aligning the minutes from these meetings in line with what we do for the board, which means that they're going to be more of just what actions were taken, votes and quorum. And then discussion items will just be left as they look on the agenda. So there's not going to be summaries. If you're needing summaries or wanting to reference the content that was discussed within those action items, then you'll be referenced to the videos, which are posted on our YouTube page.
Okay.
And then the set a meeting schedule. Now this one, I'll turn over to the group. So that's going to be the end of my big talking on everything. These next two is really just what do you guys want to plan for your meeting cadence as we move forward. And then the next is actually the next discussion item, and the rest of our time will be used to start diving in.
Is there flexibility on meeting cadence? Because I think this first, like, obviously, we're gonna go into the data collection, and kind of triage portion of that, and there's gonna be a lot of work, that goes into that. And so if we push out the next meeting to account for that, waiting on the responses to those questions.
Yep.
Does that make sense? Is that okay?
Yeah, for you guys, since you're like a short-term advisory group, we don't need to be like every other month on the third Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
Just as needed, we can schedule the meetings. We just generally need 48 hours notice so we can notice it to the community and we can get you out an agenda.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Tim, how does that sound to you? If we kind of have a little bit of variation to start with, and then as we hone in on recommendations, then we have more of a defined cadence. So does that make sense?
Everything's fine with me. It's all new to me, so whatever needs to get done, I'm willing to step in and help and do.
Perfect.
I'm thinking from today, we'll be able to kind of gather a good path forward for what our next steps are. So I think we could probably go a couple weeks out from now. I
Yeah.
don't think we need to go necessarily just 1 week. I don't think we're gonna get a lot back within that
Right.
time. So if you want to go 2 weeks out from now.
Yeah, let's plan for 2 weeks out. And then,
So
of
the
course,
20th.
yeah, if there's more time required on the information gathering, we can be flexible on our side, I'm sure.
So
So do we want to do 10 a.m. on the 20th?
Yeah.
Exactly 2 weeks from today.
That'll work. Perfect. Tim, is that okay with you?
The 20th, let's see, let me check I think the 20th is good. Graduation is the week after, I think, for the kids. So that should be
Say, What are
okay.
you graduating from?
What's that?
I was gonna ask you what you were graduating from, but kids, that makes sense.
Let's
Yeah,
see, grad practices
CHS
are
graduation is the
that day
21st, right?
first, yeah. Yeah, my that should be okay. My uncle and sister arrived that day, but they'll be landing and getting their own cars, so should be fine.
Okay.
send out a calendar invite right now.
Yeah, I also just found out that my kid got the Osceola County Male Scholar Athlete of the Year award.
Wow,
Congratulations.
that's awesome.
Orange Belt Conference Scholar Athlete of the Year.
That's
Which,
cool.
my oldest son also got that award.
Wow.
So, and
Runs in the
my
family.
middle son would have probably gotten it, except he blew out his knee that senior year and couldn't play lacrosse.
So I will not be able to make that 20th meeting, but that's okay. I can just check in with the chair and see how progress is going.
Yeah, and that's kind of just a placeholder at this point anyways. There might be, additional time required or, as my calendar tends to do, go sideways, from time to time, so. But,
Sounds good.
cool. I had, kind of looking at the goals of the group, I put together kind of a draft triage checklist of, hey, here are the data points that we would typically need
Perfect.
in order to make an informed decision.
Mhm.
I have printed copies, but I can send out digital too. And so I don't know if this is even the right methodology for this, but I just wanted this to be reviewed by the committee, Tim, and maybe I can pop it and get it to you. But I'll send it to you too, Bill. But what this does is it's kind of a system architecture overview. And so, because we don't know what we don't know right now. And in order to make an informed decision, we need to understand all the bits and pieces they're in, where they live, how they interact, all of those things. And so, this is something that I would typically do, in any situation. I just kind of tailored it a little bit more towards CROA, and in our environment. So all that said, I am feverishly trying to log in and get an internet connection, and I'll get this over to you.
Should be able to get on the guest Wi-Fi.
Guess what?
It'll just do one of those consent asks though.
Oh, okay. And so some of this is structural, some of it's procedural, understanding kind of what governs, how we, as an organization, as a community, install hardware. What are the specifications, that go into, hardware design today? In Florida, the Attorney General makes a big deal about SEPTED, and SEPTED assessments are a huge part of what communities do proactively to ensure that they have proper lighting, they have all of those other things, that shrubbery isn't somewhere somebody can conceal themselves or do anything like that. So there's even questions around, hey, what's the proper illumination in an area after hours? And some of those get really far in the weeds, and there may not be data today, and that's okay. If we haven't done, a light measurement, where a camera is, to determine if it's the right, camera, spec for that, that's okay. That's something we can work through. The biggest thing is the system itself and what governs it. Understanding those two portions are kind of what will inform, our deliberation as a body.
We can get this stuff put together for you.
Perfect.
And when you're saying what governs it, you mean basically what are we actually using these cameras for? Like when are our access points where, okay, this is an incident or a report worthy of pulling something? Is it only at law enforcement requests, or do we do it on a community basis?
So if there's an incident that's reported to us and somebody's asking us to look at the video, then we will go in and look at the video. Our team also uses it to check on where their staff are at.
Okay.
So if is so-and-so where they actually say they are?
Yeah.
Because sometimes the managers aren't on site on the weekends and they just want to check on their team.
Accountability.
Mhm.
Sure.
And then the other piece is we will provide law enforcement video surveillance if they request it or if it's subpoenaed by an attorney.
So when we say provide to law enforcement, deputy so-and-so walks in, hey, I'm just curious, can I take a look at this? Well, I'm right there, or they need to go through a formal request?
They need to do a formal request for it
Through the community or through like a legal?
through us. If they're requesting it for an active investigation, we will proactively provide it to them.
But it doesn't require a warrant?
No.
Okay.
And when we talk like somebody reports an incident or requests video footage, can that be anything from my purse was stolen from the pool, which, obviously is, you're now saying it's crime stuff. Or there was some teams running amok at the pool, but not necessarily doing anything criminal.
We will look at the video footage if someone says so-and-so was, or the kids were running amok at a pool just to see what the severity was. And if we can identify the people and then just maybe reach out to their parents and say, hey, can you talk to Timmy and say, please calm down at the pool?
Yeah.
But we won't generally actively provide residents with video footage unless they submit a request to inspect records. And then in that instance, you have to be an owner to see the actual video footage.
Mhm.
So the renters in the apartments or renters
Sure.
in the homes don't get
And
access.
when they see it, do they get a physical copy or is it digital copy or is it just they get to view it one time? Kind of
They
thing?
get a link to it.
They do. Okay.
Mhm.
Sorry, I know that was a lot of questions. but-
No,
Good questions though.
Yeah.
Has there been anything done with the Osceola County Sheriff's Department on integration via Fusus into their real-time crime center?
So the board rejected that 2.5 years ago. They did not want to engage in that. It has come up for discussion again via the tech committee this year, and Dom, our IT director, and I met with the Fusus reps. I say like a month and a half, 2 months ago, just to see what the requirements were, where they were really looking for cameras. And it's the concerns that were at the board level at the time are completely negated by where they actually want to see footage. So they want footage in and out of the different neighborhoods, basically facing the streets. So for us to do that, it would be something pointing out from Heritage Hall at the road, pointing out from East Village at the road, same with North Village, and then potentially one on Artisan Parks, and then same thing out in Island Village. They are at the different schools, they are engaged with them. They're engaged with CDD for their cameras on the boulevard, and those are the license plate reader ones. But other than that, they don't want to see behind the amenity centers or in the pool or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and Osceola County Sheriff's has been really good about donating the hardware.
Mhm.
There's no cost associated with, getting integrated into their real-time crime center. And especially with the incident that just happened at the school, where that individual jumped over the fence. There's been a lot of focus on that. And so anything that we can do as a community to work closer with law enforcement, especially when it doesn't cost us anything, it's kind of a no-brainer.
I know they have engaged with Kanoa as well, so the non-residential owners associations, all the commercial properties, we support them as well. So they've, especially downtown here with Lexon, they've engaged on that front but Lexon really doesn't have a lot of security cameras going on right now.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that's definitely something that as a committee, I would love to, kind of, because it ties into this. It's part of that whole ecosystem at the end of the day.
Yeah, we can bring those reps in if you want to
That would be great.
talk to them about where they would want to put the cameras.
One of the other things that I call out in the triage document, you mentioned reps, is bringing in, and it's in the goals as well, bringing in reps from Ubiquity, bringing in, reps from Axis, Milestone, Gallagher. And I think that would be a good opportunity to understand, not only, what our community, how our community is using their equipment today. Are there any gaps? Is there anything that we're missing, that we're not considering right now? I think that would be really good, and I'm sure something that they would be willing to
Yeah,
do.
I'm sure they'd be happy to try to sell us some more stuff. Yeah.
That's normally how that works.
We can do that.
Yeah. So from those reps we'd want to talk to would be Gallagher, Milestone.
Axis and Unify Ubiquity.
You might want to do a separate meeting with either the chair or a rep from finance and tech committees as well.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or maybe we have you attend one of their upcoming
That would be
scheduled
good,
meetings
yeah.
as a group, so it can kind of be a joint session.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that would work out well.
just kind of hear their feedback and their thoughts on it. Because there's some strong feelings on both
I'm sure.
entities.
And just so you're all aware, as Lauren mentions, that if you all were wanting just to do that homework and exercise and say, attend the finance meeting, if two of you were attending, that does make quorum of this, where we would have to ask one of you not, or to jump off, unless we noticed it as a joint finance meeting with the committee. If we notice it that way, then it's fine.
Okay.
So just
just something we need to let
Yeah.
you know. So not saying it's not doable or, but.
No, yeah, and that's what I think.
Yeah,
Lauren said.
definitely
If you
doable.
want to just attend, be a discussion item on the finance committee, that's fine. We'll just have to notice their next meeting as a joint finance and security and advisory group
Okay.
meeting.
And I did not send that to Bill. Sorry, Bill.
I think the next finance meeting will
No
be on the
problem.
18th or 19th.
What time is that?
It's usually at 5:30. They start at 5:30.
They haven't chosen a date yet, right?
No, they have not.
So I won't be able to attend that, but
Okay.
if you're able to.
Yeah, I'll try to. Can I get that or the calendar invite for
As
that?
soon as they actually schedule it,
Okay.
I'll share.
Perfect.
I'll email Ray, Teams Ray right now. Ask him to schedule that. And add you guys as a topic of discussion.
And they would be kind of same as us, if there's a recording on the YouTube channel.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you catch up on it.
Right?
So that's for finance
Now that
team.
Tim's, yeah. I was gonna say, now that Tim's on the call, did you want to go back to the item about the vice chair?
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Oh,
idea.
Yeah.
Sure. Tim, so we had talked, so Sean's gonna be our chair, if you're comfortable with that. Based on what he's told me, he's got quite an extensive resume that aligns quite perfectly with this group, in fact. So if you're comfortable with that, that leaves vice chair open between you and I. I'm happy to take it, but I'm also very happy to allow you to take that on that role if that's something you're interested in.
Up to you. Doesn't matter to me. Like I said, I can do whatever needs to get done. I can do.
You're far too easygoing, Sarah. If you don't mind, then I will take it. I'm happy and honored to serve as that. So if that's good with you,
That's fine.
okay,
Take that as a second and
cool,
it passes.
excellent.
Pass. Perfect. All right. Thanks, Bill, for circling back to that. Okay.
May
My one
18th is
accomplishment
Wednesday.
today.
18.
Yep.
Okay, so you're assuming your calendar doesn't flip, it's all
Yes.
sideways.
Yeah.
Tim, do you think you'll be attending the finance meeting as well?
When's that?
May 18th at 5:30 at, I believe it's Island Village Clubhouse.
That's a Monday.
I'll have to add it to my calendar.
I'll send the calendar invite shortly.
Thank you.
May 18th. No, it's senior awards ceremony. That will
All
be a
right.
no.
That's fine. We just won't notice it as a joint and
Cool.
you can
Cool.
be there as a representative.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Yep, soon I will be kidless. Empty nest soon.
So between now and the 18th, I'm trying to figure out what we think we can gather in terms of information and move forward with that.
So a lot of the asset inventory should be able to kick out to you guys, the video retention policy, existing and recent tickets should be available, policies and procedures. I think he's completed the network topology, so we can probably push that out. The rep review, that's gonna take a minute to schedule with them. I can get you a list of recent projects. There's no current projects. We should be able to get a good chunk of this out to you guys pretty quickly.
Okay.
We've spent a lot of last year trying to document everything because yeah, there was an IT switch over last year, so.
So for you attending on the 18th, are you comfortable kind of going in there with your questions, or do we want to
Yeah.
create kind of a question list, just so you
I-
have prep?
And that's a great question. That's a great question about questions. How do we handle outside of meeting communication as far as, okay, this is what we should walk in with finance to ask, this is how we should, like, is that governed?
No, you guys are free to email, communicate.
Okay,
We would just ask that if you are emailing, please use your town hall email, so we have a record of
Yeah.
it for records inspections purposes. You're free to meet, well, actually, you can't meet without quorum, but you can call or get on the phone to talk about
Okay.
things.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we'll do then is we'll collectively come up with kind of a draft list of, hey, here's what we believe, finance might be able to inform us on. And we'll do the same thing with technology. And so the three of us, I'll kind of get an email chain going, and we'll build that out.
Yeah, and if you guys think of anything in the meantime that you have questions on or additional information you need, just shoot us an email and we'll get it out to you. In addition to this list, I'll also kick you the reserve study too, because that includes which items of our security system are reserved and which are not.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think from the finance perspective, the main thing we have to know is what is the investment or willingness to invest in security right now look like?
Yeah.
That's really the big question. I mean, beyond that,
Yeah.
I think the dialogue will, for the most part, go from there. That it's gonna be a massive question most of walk in
Yeah.
with. It's kind of,
And I think too, what you find from a budgetary cycle standpoint is a lot of times, like we're sitting next to the fire alarm control panel. Where I guarantee you that for the FACP, in this building, there's an annualized budget for maintenance, repair, inspection related items, all of those things. A lot of times from a security technology standpoint, there isn't that sort of pre-planning. And so understanding from a finance standpoint, hey, what do you budget for break fix? What does that look like? What are our thresholds for break fix? Do we design from a budgetary standpoint obsolescence into what we do? There's a wireless access point over our head.
Mhm.
That WAP will essentially have a lifespan, 3 to 5 years. At the end of those 3 to 5 years, it's ancient history, and everybody would be complaining, based on the lack of speed generated by it. So there has to be a replacement plan for that, just like there has to be a replacement plan for that Hikvision camera in the corner over there. I think understanding from an ecosystem standpoint, the economics of what drives all this is really critical.
So some of that nitty gritty information, the finance committee won't have.
Okay.
Because when it gets down to that granular, we say, no, that's not your business.
Yeah,
But we did start rolling out a TRP program, technology replacement program. Last year with Dom, he needs to expand on it because that was really laptop related, because we were really getting down to everybody was crashing in the middle of meetings. But that does need to expand up to the WAPs and everything. But security cameras themselves are phased in the reserve study, so that's planned for. And the access system is phased, or is its replacement is included in this study, but not maintenance. That is in the budget process that
Okay.
we put together.
gotcha.
And I can get you the
Lauren?
breakdown. Yes, Bill.
No, I was just gonna say, and that is really the genesis idea of having this group, this force, is to raise the visibility of the security infrastructure from a budget and technology view. That is the reason we're doing it. That's how it rose to this point where we're asking for you all to serve and give your expert advice on it. It's really to document, lay it out, so that way management has a clear defined path on upgrade schedule in the future. And it's not a surprise to the finance committee where it's just this unexpected expense that pops up. So
Yeah.
that is the nugget of this. Everything else is wonderful and will help solidify the reasons for doing this. as far as, what's the right technology platform long-term. Just a couple of thoughts. This is an asset to homeowners. And so we treat it just like a building or a pool or vehicles that we buy. Management has the responsibility to make sure that it all works well, gets replaced well, gets upgraded well. So with the viewpoint that the homeowners are making an investment, we want the social strat to buy line item.
You're kind of cutting out, Bill.
Sorry,
We got most of that.
Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
sentence.
I think the gist of it from the conversations you and I have had, Bill, it's like, what's the right system, making sure we're investing in a quality system that will last, and it's nothing's future-proof, but is as close to it as it can be.
Yeah, the one constant in the
Yes.
technology world is change, and designing a system, that accounts for all those variables, over time, the evolution of what security is. 12 years ago, that Hikvision camera in the corner was probably the hottest selling, lowest cost camera you could buy. That particular camera was probably $120. If you were to pick it up from ADI or Wesco, there was probably a 10% markup, and the cabling cost more than the camera. It would probably cost $300 to cable that camera.
We did it in-house.
You did it in-house, so save some money. But now, because, and part of our goals are to, look at these National Defense Authorization Act banned items, and not mentioned in the goals, that specific camera is also banned by the FTC, now the Federal Trade Commission. And so, we have other considerations with how we choose hardware. And so 12 years ago, hey, perfectly fine choice. But the underlying current was there. It was easy to tell that, hey, there had been some cybersecurity issues with both Hikvision and Dehao cameras produced in China. That was all public, but they were still allowed to sell at that point. And so coming up with the philosophy, the governing philosophy behind how we roll out security technology and the why, that's what isn't explained well. Every conversation that I've had anecdotally up until now, when I ask about why we replace, this camera with this camera, well, it has the same resolution. Well, that's not the question. The question was, what was the outcome of placing a camera here? What was the goal?
That was for camp.
Yeah, that was for camp.
Can't move from heritage to here.
Okay. And a lot of times those decisions aren't captured. And so, one thing that I always encourage in video management systems is there's oftentimes a note section. And so when you first roll out that camera, there should be a little, 1-2 sentence blurb that says, hey, on this date, we deployed it, went live here. This is why we did this. Because if I'm, the director and I leave, I want somebody to be able to go back and look at those notes and say, okay, this is why they did that. Because that a lot of times gets lost in the sauce, is the why. So.
Agree.
Any other topics of discussion that anybody wants to bring up?
I just want to thank you all for taking your time to do this and serve the community in this way. And the board appreciates the looking forward to a great report. Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
No, echoing Bill and everybody else, thank you. That this is, I never willfully ever wanted to get involved in HOA anything. I do it professionally for another community in Jacksonville. And I don't envy what you all have to contend with because I get to live it once a month. No, I'm very thankful for you all to spend your time on this. I think it's a worthy cause. And my goal is, we can collectively build something that, we can continue to iterate on for many years to come.
Great. All right. Well,
That's the chair. Do you want a motion to adjourn?
Sure. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Val concluded. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Bill.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bill.
Have a great day.